One of the greatest experiences of my life has been building a church. As you know, my dad is a pastor, and we started the church when I was about 9 years old. So to be there through the process of starting a church from nothing, no members, no building, no nothing, just watching my dad actually build the pulpit with his hands and canvassing the neighborhoods with my mom to bring in people and flyers and, well, not flyers, what they call them, tracks, all of those things. That experience has shaped my life and influenced me more than anything else. And the most important lesson that it taught me is how to build, how to not stop and not let anyone deter you from the work that God has assigned to you. And that is a lesson that I've learned to apply to every aspect of my life. And any success that I may have achieved, I can owe it to that lesson and that experience. And as always, I'm so excited to be here. I get so excited about Sunday school. This is the highlight of my week. So this week we are talking about Nehemiah. We all know the story. We talk about Nehemiah on that wall. And this was at the time where King Artaxerxes, who was the Persian king at that time, the children of Israel had been taken into captivity into Babylon under Nebuchadnezzar. At this time, it was the Persian Empire that was in charge, and they allowed them to go back and rebuild the walls of Jerusalem. And that's important because these were pagan kings, and God placed it on the heart of this king to allow them to go back and to rebuild Jerusalem. And this is what Nehemiah was doing. Now, there were people there, Sanballat and Tobiah, who were angry. The Bible says they were wroth. They were very angry. And it was bad enough that they did not want them to rebuild the wall, but they started to taunt them and make fun of them about what you're going to do, because the walls of Jerusalem had been burned and they could not even really use the stones because the quality of them had been deteriorated because they had been lying in ruin and burned. And so I said, what you going to do? You're going to, your stone's not even going to work. And he began to try to discourage the people and tell them, why would you go back and try to build Jerusalem? It's not going to be anything. And I thought about that because it parallels with what we go through today. If you've ever, not even in church, just church, but if you've ever tried to build anything, I'm sure that you've had people say, why are you going to do that? Or even in church, people say, why we got to do that? Why it costs so much money? Why? And there's always going to be a dissenting voice when you're trying to build. And what I love about Nehemiah is that he did not listen to that, and he did not let that stop him, and he was able to keep his people motivated to build that wall. It said they built a wall up all the way halfway through because it said the people wanted to work. That's powerful right there, because they wanted to. In leadership, sometimes when you're trying to push over a program or trying to get people to do something, I have heard every excuse in the book. What it boils down to is, do you want it? Because whatever you want to do, you will do it. If you want to do it, you will, and you will not find an excuse. You will find a way. Nehemiah was determined that he was going to build this wall, and he was not going to allow anything or anyone to stop him. So then it says not only that, Sanballat and Tobiah, they got together and they rounded up the Ammonites and Amorites and all of these countries, and they wanted to fight them to stop them from building the wall. And I love the way that Nehemiah responded to them for two reasons. The first reason is that he was not going to stop. He was not afraid of them, and he was not going to allow them to stop production of that wall. That's the first response I like, is that he remained determined to complete the work. The second reason why I like his response is because, think about it, they were threatening to fight. Nehemiah did not stop building to fight. That is a key lesson for us, because sometimes when we're trying to do something and people come against us, we got to clap back, we got to get them told, we got to put them in their place, we got to set them straight, and we stop working and building to fight with them. And the result is the same, the work not getting done. But in this lesson, Nehemiah did not stop this wall to go fight them. It says that he set up watches, right? So that some could watch while some built. And then it says that the builders, they had a helmet in one hand and a sword on their side. So they did not stop working. And that is so important. And as we know, they were successful and they did finish the wall. And when God makes a way for you and he opens doors for you, you have to have the faith that God is going to complete the work. God doesn't half step. When he makes a way, think about it. He touched the hearts of the most powerful man in the world at that time to allow them to go back and rebuild that wall. So Sanballat and Tobias, they didn't have anything coming. They couldn't do anything with Nehemiah. And that's what you've got to understand. You've got God on your side, right? And God has made a way for you to do the work. As long as there is a way for you to do it, do the work. Build the wall. Whatever it is God is telling you to build or to do. Whatever assignment that you have. And I've been talking about this almost every week now for a month, about building these churches. See, the Sanctuary Academy or the Sunday School Renaissance is not about getting people to join my movement. That's not my goal. My goal is to build up the body of Christ. From joining me with these Sunday school lessons every week, my desire is that you would be a better steward at your own church and your own ministry, that you would be able to build up your own ministry and bring people in and share the word with them and change lives and lead people to heaven. That's my goal. It's not about following Valante and following what I do, because I'm following the Lord. And I believe that if I build this, right, like Nehemiah, if I build this and I don't get distracted and I don't come down off the wall, I believe that God's got me. I believe that God is going to take care of me. If God could touch King Artaxerxes to allow Nehemiah to go back and build that wall, the most powerful man in the world, I believe God can touch the heart of somebody who is rich and powerful and influential to bless me with everything I need to build the Sanctuary Academy and the Sunday School Renaissance. There's people out there that's watching. You have the resources to pay for everything I need. Feel free to donate if you like, but it's just that thing where we've got to trust God and we've got to continue to build no matter what when people come against you. And I love the story, and I've heard the story over and over again because I come from a family of builders. My granddad is a pastor, my dad is a pastor, and these men, they are, and my mother, we can't forget her, they do not understand the word can't. In times when I was growing up, when I would say I can't do something, it was like I didn't even say anything. They would just keep talking. Oh, you gonna do it. And I love that. And I love that they put that down in me. Because if you're going to build anything, you've got to be able to overcome opposition. And if you're going to build anything, there is definitely going to be opposition. And I think sometimes people don't count up the cost. They think, okay, I got this plan. It's going to go boom, boom, boom. And then I'm going to be done. But the minute a little hiccup comes in the plan, we're ready to give up. Don't you dare give up. It's somebody that's watching right now. God has told you to do something. God has told you to build something. You have an assignment. You started and it's getting hard and you're thinking about giving up. If you're that person, I want you to type in the comments, I'm not going to give up. That's all, because you cannot give up. Because here's the thing. It's not really about you. It's bigger than you. Nehemiah needed to rebuild this wall for God's sake, because that was God's holy city for his people. And it was time. See, when the time is right, the resources will appear. But when the resources appear and the timing is right, opposition is going to appear as well. So you've got to be like Nehemiah. Nehemiah quickly devised a plan. He's like, okay, they want to play with us. They want to mess with us. They want to bother us. They want to attack us. Here's what we do. We have a watch set up and we're going to build. You watch while we build. And we got weapons too. So if they come, we're still going to be able to build. Nothing is going to stop the completion of this wall. Make up your mind. Nothing is going to stop the completion of my assignment that God has given to me. It shall be done. God has made a way. God has provided a way of escape. God has provided all of the resources that you need. He's giving you all the skill that you need. I'm reminded of Moses when he said he couldn't go to Pharaoh because he wasn't able to talk. And he said, look, whatever you need, I got you. When he sent Aaron to speak for him, when God sends you on a mission, when he gives you an assignment, and I'm going to break this down because when I say sending you on a mission, I'm not talking about you got to be a preacher. You got to go and fly around the world and preach. What a mission could be something as simple as being at church early, 30 minutes early, to make sure the bathroom clean, to make sure the floor is mopped, to make sure the door is unlocked. Those are all things that we need. All of that is parts of the building process. And as I said, my experience of building a church, I thank God for that experience because I understand that standing behind the pulpit is the easy part. And I remember getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning and seeing my father go down there to the church to clean it up and make sure everything was right, then coming back to get us, then going back, unlocking the door, and leaving mama in there to do Sunday school while he went and picked up people. See, that's building. And sometimes we want to do the glamorous part. We want to be in front of the cameras. Being in front of the camera right now, this is the fun part. You don't see all of the work that goes behind the cameras, all of the stuff that happens before I turn the camera on. And see, that's where we have to have a mind to work, to build, to go, to be determined, and do not stop. We are living in these last days. And see, you don't want to start and stop. As my mama would tell me, ain't no prize in start and stopping. We're too close to the end. You can't give up now. You've got to hold on and see the conclusion of the whole matter and be ready when Jesus comes. And when he comes back, you want your assignment to be complete. You don't want no incomplete. You don't want no failed task. You want to get it done. And that's this lesson. We learn about Nehemiah and this wall and Sanballat and Tobiah. Yes, there's Sanballat and Tobiah in our lives. You ain't got to worry about them. God has got you. Devise a plan and keep on working.